All right, guys, what is up? I am not Cap, but I am wearing a cap, but it is not the cap because I am Francis.
I'm Tom, not Mysterio.
Got bashed.
And I'm still Francis. And this is still the push. Coming in live, we are fully in the month of April. We are in full-on, unadulterated Wrestlemania season. We got a lot to talk about, not just from the...
What makes this funnier, I know Cap has no clue how his intro goes.
Yeah.
Cap has no clue, because I know he doesn't watch it. I don't think he watches it. I think he crops it.
He skips past the intro.
Yeah, he's going to find out the hard way. That's what he's going to do.
But I did want to interrupt. And I wanted to make an announcement, and I wanted to call out my crew. It's nothing bad. I wanted to call out all three of you. There's going to be changes in our podcast. I realized the last segment of my Scott take was horrendous, and you guys gave me a look like it's not this. You gave me the feeling of it's not the same anymore, and that it doesn't have the same flair of my old Scott takes before we went visual.
Oh, we're kicking off.
I have come up. I am going to bring back the original Scott take, and I have 4 topics to talk about. So this is going to be a long rant.
Well, that sounds like it's going to be deadly blood rain, epic violence coming from you, Scott. But before we do,
I might have forgot one of them, but
good job.
Yeah, but we'll continue. You can make your announcement.
Yeah, but before we get to anything, we at the Push, and Cap included, even though he couldn't make it tonight, love you, brother. We at the Push want to give a quick shout out to the hardcore legend Mick Foley, who had himself a bit of a fender bender this past week. Luckily, everyone is okay. And even though he got rushed to the hospital, he was fine, as we all saw on his socials, where he posted the aftermath of the car. Mick, you absolute original mad lad. We're glad you're okay. And you're good to see that you're still out of your goddamn mind all those years later.
That's why I was laughing. Oh, God, I love that guy so much. He's such a psychopath.
Posting, like you said earlier, Scott, posting a picture of the wrecked car that he in is the most Mick Foley thing Mick Foley has ever done. Absolutely. If there's ever a guy who can no-sell death, it's probably Mick Foley.
I just thought of this. Yeah. He literally just created the Cactus Jack entrance. Literally. He was inside the car the whole time. Cactus Jack crashed the car. That's it.
You think after the car crash, he just heard the Cactus Jack theme in his head? Just the Oh, well, I mean, if he didn't, he did now, because we put it in the universe, and if we say it, it must be true. Now that we get the power of suggestion. But yeah, no, we're glad that Mick Foley and everyone involved is okay. Okay, Scott, floor is yours. You have 4 deadly Scott takes to kick us off this evening. What are they?
The first one's going to be really shocking. First one is Seth Rollins. I really want to talk throughout the last few years, I have seen Seth Rollins make a complete fool out of himself. I've seen him dress fucking ridiculous. I didn't really think when he said, if I'm going to actually raid a wardrobe, that I would take over Lady Gaga's wardrobe instead. I forgot who he told that to. I think it was The Miz. But I'm tired of him.
Really?
Of this character, of who he is.
Really?
I'm tired of the outfits. I never liked his theme song ever since he switched it and over to that Messiah theme song. I have never
for the old one
liked it. I always preferred the old one. I'm pissed that they don't do the old one.
Okay.
It's every little aspect. It's every little aspect. It's the fact. It's the only thing that's good is his promos. I mean, it's not even his promos. It's his wrestling. It's because that's obviously not going to change. It's even his promos. It's the obsessive nature that he is. It's the way he presents himself. It's every aspect. I'm like, this was somebody when I got back into wrestling took over as my favorite wrestler because I got introduced to him at the end of the Shield when he broke up the Shield.
I was about to say, like, isn't he like your second favorite right behind Gunther?
He was my favorite, but now it's Gunther. It used to be my favorite. I want to see something different. I have to. We have to see something different after Mania. I'm tired of this character. You need something different. Please go back to the Architect. Go back to corporate. I've heard people saying it would be a good idea for Seth Rollins to maybe join The Rock because of how stale his character is.
In my insane rant I did previous episode.
Yep. But yeah,
I wouldn't mind if he joined The Rock with Cena.
That's one. Two is Jey Uso. I don't like how
Shocker.
that's the obvious one. I don't like how the storyline's going. It's looking like he's going to win this title match. By the way the storyline is presenting itself, John Cena is not doing it for me. And if Jey Uso
did this too.
And if Jey Uso also becomes a main champion, there's going to be a severe problem in superiority with those championships. Because
you think it's going to diminish them,
it's going to severely diminish it. The thing that could help it is maybe that the mid-card titles, if they change or not, are stay and they kind of help pick up the pact. But Jay can't do it. He's not main event. He's entertaining. He is not main event. He's not. He can't have that title. I can't. Nobody can convince me. I do not see that him holding that title. I do not see it. I don't see it working. I don't see any way that he can do good with it. He had a singles title. That was probably one of the worst title reigns in this whole year so far.
You say it's looking like he's going to win. I don't know. The fact that it looks like now that we know for a fact that he's not, his championship match isn't main eventing either one of the nights, I'm starting to doubt that maybe he won't. Unless they open night 1 or night 2.
I don't know.
But aside from that, we'll get more to that when it's actually time for Wrestlemania predictions.
I'm gonna forget about the third one, but I'm gonna give you the last one. And Kat's not gonna like this, but I'm fucking doing it, and I said I'm doing it.
Oh Christ!
There is a podcaster. I think it's called Wrestling is Cool Podcast. I think that's the name. And there's also this guy who also has a solo thing on his own channel. I think it's called Santi Zap.
Santa Zap, yeah.
I think that's the name. People will know who I'm talking about. I officially am calling you out and inviting you as a friendly and inviting, as friendly too. I want to call him out because I think this is going to be great for both of us. But I want to invite you to our podcast, or we'll go and join your podcast. I would like to call you out
respectfully
on John Cena turning heel, because apparently you want to glaze every little move thing he does, and you're obsessed like a Cowboys fan. So I would love to have a debate with you, a friendly debate on John Cena's heel turn, because I think it's terrible. You think it's something good. I would have like an open challenge, a friendly. I said it angry. I had 2 topics before that got me pissed, but friend, I'm doing this as friendly, calling you out.
I'd like to point out
debate with you on John Cena.
If you're watching, I'd like to point out he did the exact same thing with me when I did when we talked about Cena's heel turn. So like if he's saying it's friendly, he actually means it, because he actually talks about it like that with his friend. So there you have it, Wrestling is Cool Podcast. If you ever see this, let's collab. There's the 4th talking ring of the bell yet, Scott?
No, it's not important anymore. I'll talk about it when we have the topic. We have the topic to talk about. So
we do. We have plenty of topics to talk about. We're gonna give our 2 cents on on the budding card of WrestleMania both nights. But before we do that, I think it's time we did a brief soiree over to the land of the rising sun. New Japan is having a pay per view this weekend. They're not the only ones having a wrestling event, but we'll save that for later. But this weekend, we're building up to Sakura Genesis, the sixth annual event for New Japan. We're going to bridge the gap between the end of Best of the Super Juniors and probably going to set up the storylines leading to this year's G1 tournament. Whole lot of stuff going around. But I want to talk about this last week when it was more recent, but I couldn't because we had to skip. Zack Sabre Jr. has lost the IWGP Heavyweight Championship to Hiroki Goto, who, in his first title defense, is going up against the guy who we talked about super recently, Finley's son, Dave. David Finley Jr. is the #1 contender for the New Japan belt. Oh, and they announced it like the week after we did the bid on him.
Awesome.
So I like to think that the push actually shadow booked a New Japan event, and we didn't even know that we were doing it. Now
you're a psychic, Francis.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you guys are psychic too. When you asked me if it was Finley Kid, we did all the Finley jokes. Next thing we know, he's the big guy in New Japan. I doubt he's going to win because it's Goto's first event, and while Finley Jr. isn't exactly a noob, Goto holds several years superiority over him, and it's his first title defense, so he's probably not picking the belt for now, obviously. And unfortunately, Scott, there's no news on whether or not our guy Gabe Kidd's going to be competing, but that's probably because they're saving him up for the G1 tournament. Here's to hoping he wins the whole thing.
He better win. He has to win one.
He is arguably their top heel right now. I think he's leading the Bullet Club. If anyone's going to win, it has to be Gabe Kidd. But yes, that is everything we have going on from the New Japan sector of the push. Going back to WWE, gentlemen, before we get into the budding Mania card, we're going to be seeing a few returns, namely everyone's favorite Bulgarian brute, Rusev.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. This is the it is the first episode of the push to be released on Rusev Day. Wow. Guys, I can't believe it. Did you guys believe it? I know I can, but we're breaking new ground every day. First ever push episode on Rusev Day. Coincidentally enough, Rusev was announced to have re-signed on Rusev Day. It's like poetry, it rhymes. You can't deny it. He is finished with his tenure over in AEW, and now he is returning to the WWE. You know, he had the Danielson match. The Danielson match was good.
I don't know. I felt for Rusev on that one. It's like he left WWE because he wasn't being utilized properly. He went to AEW
because Vince kept coming up with different storylines of him getting cucked.
Yeah, basically. Went to AEW. He was treated like a fucking beast for a while. Like, you know, when he had the TNT championship.
The Redeemer.
Yeah, but once
I like the Redeemer gimmick.
Once he lost that title, it was like he just did nothing.
It's like typical AEW fashion. They start off strong, and then when it inevitably ends, it's like, where do you go?
Kind of just fade off into the ether.
Yeah. The Rusev-shaped ether that I can only assume smells of musky baby oil and a new Mario hat taken out of the box.
I just don't know if he's actually going to come back as Rusev. He's going to come back as his AEW name? Is he actually going to come back to Rusev? I would love for Aiden English to be with him again.
TNA partnership means that they could do that.
God, I hope so.
Well, here's
I need to hear that again. That was.
I can't imagine he would come back as Miro because he already had an established persona in WWE as Rusev.
Rusev.
You know, Cody was different because Cody Rhodes uses his real name. You know, it's like it's not like he's making up a persona. Where Rusev, I don't believe that's Rusev's real name.
His
So
real name
if-
is Miroslav Banyadashev.
Is that true, or did you just fucking make that shit up?
I'm dead fucking serious. That's his real name.
I listen.
Yeah.
You could have fucking told me his name was like Tobias or some shit, and I would have believed it. But
What if I told you his name was Ivan Drago?
You guessed it, his flabber there. Like, he just paused.
Yeah.
He's like, how the fuck did you answer that so
the fact
fucking
that
quick?
you
Like,
had
you knew
that
that?
ready to go.
It was sitting in the back of my mind. I forget why I knew that.
Okay.
I have no idea why I
God.
knew that. I just did.
All right.
That's nuts, man.
And that's definitely going to be
Especially
you wanna know what it is?
That name sounded difficult. That
Miroslav
name sounded
Banyadashev.
difficult. Like, he has...
I had to learn how to pronounce a bunch of Japanese names, and I guess I just worked that into pronouncing Bulgarian and Russian names.
Anyway.
It's the wrestling autism thing, man. What do you want?
Anyway, I can't imagine he would come back as anything but Rusev, because the second the fans see him, they're going to start chanting Rusev Day.
So he has to come back as Rusev.
That's the way I would do it. Really,
I think that's
bring
gonna
back
be
the
how the way it is.
Bulgarian
Now-
brute, fucking...
Yeah. And again, like, fly over to TNA and be like, hey, can we borrow Aiden for a second? We have a thing we got to do.
We have he needs to sing a
Even
song.
if it's for, like, yeah.
But
Yeah.
when do we think we might see
yeah,
him on TV?
I just thought of...
Raw after Mania.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
It's
Yeah,
the
that
perfect
sounds
time.
pretty...
That's
Yeah.
that's a
Wrestlemania.
great time for re-debuts and call-ups and stuff, so...
Yeah. And he might not be the only debut, because Malachi Black's contract is coming to an end soon. Granted, I don't have the concrete date on when that's happening yet, but it's soon.
Aren't they already showing, like, tales that he's coming to WWE?
What, like
Or is
promos?
that somebody else?
I mean,
I'm
no,
not sure.
right now I think the only, like, Easter eggs they're throwing around are for,
Ray Phoenix?
Ray Phoenix, thank you.
Yeah, they're showing that Ray Phoenix is coming. They straight up announced that Ray Phoenix is coming,
Did they?
but like we haven't got. Yeah, I
No, they
remember it
announced
was
that
like on an episode of
I think
SmackDown.
they announced that they signed him, but they didn't say that, like, where he's coming in from. Or when.
Are you sure? I could have sworn on an episode. They didn't say when, but they definitely name dropped him on an episode of SmackDown.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Yeah. Again, I could be wrong entirely, but I'm fairly certain. Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah.
But, I mean, that would be
Ray
really
Phoenix would be a good
interesting.
time for Michelle. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really interesting to have Ray Phoenix, Malachi Black. Oh, I mean, that's another one. Does he come back as Aleister Black?
Yeah.
Because all he did was change
like
his first
Aleister.
name.
Yeah.
And again, like, it's
Probably-
the same thing as Rusev. He already had an established character. Why not just come back as that?
Yeah. And return to form. Be like he never left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy he's back. Like,
Mhm.
I like them out. I like Aleister back.
I love
and
Aleister Black. His run in NXT
I'm happy
was
that he's
absolutely
coming.
good.
Yeah, and you know, like, Vince never booked him right, but
No.
Yeah,
He didn't
but-
book a lot of NXT call-ups,
no,
right?
because he didn't give a fuck. He didn't like the way he didn't like Triple H's
Yeah.
favorite guys,
Style of
and
booking.
girls.
Yeah.
But not even that. Like Triple H, Triple H likes that, like, indie style of wrestling.
Yeah.
He
He likes the indie style. He likes the international
Vince did
style.
not. Yeah. Vince was not a fan of it, so that's why no one was ever booked properly that came up from Black and Gold.
The biggest success stories you could make the argument for NXT Black and Gold during the Vince days were Charlotte, Rollins, and to an extent KO.
Yeah, but they kind of, the way they did things are different. They weren't strictly
Yeah.
indie. They were indie
Yeah.
style, but they adapted to the WWE style of wrestling too,
Yeah.
and like made it their own. But it worked, and they had the personality and the charisma
Yeah.
to get over with the crowd. So Vince doesn't care how you do it as long as you get over.
Yeah. But,
For the most part.
it's For the most part, yeah. I was about to say Zack Ryder would like to have a word with him about that one.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh God, what?
Unfortunate for him.
He's married to Chelsea Green. He's doing fine, motherfucker.
There's the anger. I heard anger in that.
He's jealous.
Almost got me there for a second. But no, I'm hosting tonight, so I got to be a pro boy.
Sure, Jam.
So, all right. Having said all of that, would we like to discuss the Mania card story so far?
So I have the card pulled up on my other screen right here. Would we want to work our way from the top down or the bottom up? What do we think?
Bottom up.
All right. So
bottom up. Who doesn't love a good build-up?
Keep in mind, this is in no particular order, but this is directly from WWE's website. On the card, we have AJ Styles versus Logan Paul is one of the first matches on the card. That's gonna. I think that's gonna be a great match. Honestly,
that's gonna be a good match. I'm surprised. I had a feeling that I don't know why I thought this, that AJ was gonna be used to build up for a match with Braun Breaker, but this is good for him too. This is gonna be a really good style showing.
Interesting. We could also
this is
very much see like the possibility of like some kind of crazy move being intercepted by AJ hitting like a phenomenal forearm, which would be fucking absolutely.
We
insane.
have to see something crazy.
Yeah. With these
especially, I mean, AJ is still as athletic as he was. Yeah. AJ is. I mean, he's not as AJ Styles is not as athletic as he was, but he's still pretty goddamn athletic,
bro.
And Logan Paul is insane in that ring when you give him a chance. Mm-hmm. And I'm just, oh my God, I'm gonna probably say they could, besides maybe Rollins, Punk, and Roman, that is probably the only challenge it has. Is Logan Paul and AJ Styles might be one of the best non-title matches.
Oh, 100%. Because there's only like, at the moment, there's only like, not counting Reigns, Punk, and Rollins, there's only like one other non-title match. So there's really not a lot of competition there. But, point being, Logan, as much as we shit on him for being a piece of crap person, he's phenomenal in the ring, no pun intended.
No, that's the other guy.
Shut up. But you put him with AJ Styles, who is absolutely out of this world. I have yet to see a match from AJ that I didn't like. And it's like,
you guys should check out his match in Pro Wrestling Noah. That shit was fire.
Yeah, exactly. And then look at what Logan Paul did with Roman Reigns like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
that was 2 years ago.
New. He was still like brand new in the industry. Imagine what he could do now that he's been training more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Yeah, he's
every time he sets foot in the ring, he impresses me a little more. And like I said, as much as I don't like him as a person, I respect the fuck out of him as a wrestler.
We respect the hustle.
Yeah.
And having him work with a guy like AJ is exactly what he needs. Because like, who did he wrestle last year? I can't even remember. I remember the year before he wrestled Rollins, and that was great.
Yeah. Did he have a match last year?
He did. I think it was a triple threat with KO and Orton.
I think it was.
Yeah. That's where KSI showed up.
Yes. Yeah. No, was it KSI or was it iShow Speed?
No, iShow Speed was the Rumble. It was KSI.
No, iShow Speed showed up at Mania too, because remember he got RKO'd and then like he freaked out about it on one of his streams.
You sure? I'm pretty sure it was KSI.
Sure. It might have been both of them, honestly.
One of them showed up dressed as a Prime bottle.
That was KSI, I think.
That was KSI.
Yeah, no.
But then there was, I don't know. Either way, because I know iShow Speed ate an RKO. And he had a whole thing because he was playing WWE 2K on his stream, and Randy Orton's music hit, and he fell out of his chair.
Someone on Twitter posted a meme of wow, about the AJ Logan match, and it just goes, wow, the two most influential wrestlers to ever be involved with Japan. And picture one is of AJ with the IWGP Championship, and the other one is Logan in the Suicide Force. And I'm like, goddamn. Goddamn.
It still makes me laugh when they did the Asian tour, and Dom Mysterio was on fucking Impulsive, and he goes, "Have you been to Japan?"
Yo, he was so tight.
Yeah. He briefly became the biggest babyface in wrestling.
It
Oh
was
my
so
God.
fucking funny.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Dom's funny.
Dom's great.
yeah, I know I am.
Not you.
Fuck you.
We didn't say Dom, not Mysterio.
Anyway, but speaking of Randy Orton, we have the next match on the list: Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens.
RKKO, let's be heroes. All right. Okay, I know we said we weren't going to talk about predictions just yet, but like this is the only prediction I'm going to make for this entirety. I'm not going to say who I think is going to win, but I guarantee you Sami Zayn is going to show up at some point during the match if he doesn't come back during the build-up and they make that a triple threat as well.
Without a doubt. Honestly, I think Randy Orton's going to kick Kevin's head fucking clean off his shoulders.
Oh, yeah, no, they're building up their return.
I want to see that kick. I want to see that punch so badly.
He hasn't done that in over 10 years, I think.
No, he's done it sooner. He fucking punted Ric Flair, but they turned the lights off.
Oh, doesn't count then.
That was like 2019, I want to say. 2018, 2019?
It might have been 2018 because in 2019, Flair was getting beaten by Batista to build up his feud with Triple H.
Yeah, you're right. I think it might have been right before that, actually, now that I think about it.
Man, not a good time. What is it with Evolution members turning on Ric Flair?
Flair's
just that guy.
Flair's still willing to take the bumps. Dude's like fucking 80. He does not give a fuck.
I think he's the other guy who can no sell death.
Oh, he already did
That's
it
probably
twice.
the guy who's immortal.
Between the plane crash and the stroke, I don't know what the fuck should have killed him, but didn't. I don't know.
And the heart
He's
attack.
immortal, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I forgot about the plane crash. Jesus Christ, Nate, what is your life even?
Let's see. We got the next match on the list is the women's championship match between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair.
So, going back to what we were talking about earlier when Scott was ranting on Jey Uso again, that actually caused something to click within my head. Neither one of the Royal Rumble winners are main eventing either WrestleMania night.
Nope. And that just shows, to me, how much faith they have in either one of those matches.
No.
Because I guarantee you if Punk would have won that match, the Royal Rumble, he would still be main evented.
Yeah.
Even if it was like, But in all fairness, you look at the two matches that are closing the shows on nights 1 and 2, and the two Royal Rumble winners, and it's like, one kind of carries a little more weight than the other. You look at, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena, where John Cena has the potential to win his 17th World Championship with WWE and break Ric Flair's record. That has to main event. That has to. There's no ifs,
and not
ands, or
just
buts
any
about
main
that.
event,
like,
the final main event.
Yeah, that has
of that main
exactly.
event.
That is night 2's main event. No ifs, ands, buts about it. No question. And then the night 1 main event, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins.
Arguably the better Shield triple threat.
I mean, if you think about it, like you look at that match and you look at the two Royal Rumble winner matches, what would you rather see in the main event?
Yeah.
The triple threat.
Either one, yeah.
The triple threat beats out any of those two matches, so that has to main event night 1.
Yeah.
Especially with the magnitude of who's in that triple threat match.
It's CM Punk is finally getting his WrestleMania main event match.
Yeah. The thing he left the company over, and now he's finally getting it.
Yeah. Because who knows? Like he could turn around next year and be like, I'm done. You know.
That's actually, as unfortunate as it is, I feel like that's where we might be heading. I don't want him to go away just yet. I do want Punk to face off against Justice Cena.
Part of me is wondering because they still haven't mentioned what this favor is.
They still have.
Part of me.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I know what the favor is.
I heard a theory, and I don't know how true it's gonna be. I can't foresee it being a thing, but I think it would be interesting if it did happen. It was Punk's favor is that he gets Paul Heyman to convince Triple H to make the winner of the triple threat match go on to be inserted into Night 2's main event for the title. And like he wins, he beats, he pins Seth Rollins. He gets to go on to Night 2 and be inserted in the main event with Cody Rhodes and John Cena for the title. So he not only does he get one WrestleMania main event, but
both
he gets
of them. That's nice.
Both WrestleMania main events and the potential to win a title.
That is intricate but well thought out. I wouldn't. Again, I'm all for.
That's what the only reason I don't see it happening is because it's too much.
Yeah, my guess for the favor was like, no, he just gets Paul to betray Roman.
Yeah, I think that's the more likely scenario.
He walks out. He gets Paul Heyman to walk out and on the ring with him.
Yeah,
like they said there was a segment where he says, "I will walk." Paul Heyman says to CM Punk when he had those ugly mutton chops.
Oh yeah, that was back in like 2012,
2013.
Yeah,
2012, 2013. He
goes,
tried to do the Wolverine.
Yeah, he goes, "I will walk down the aisle with you when you main event WrestleMania." And to be honest, Triple H does like long-term storytelling.
He does.
So
he does. In fact, I saw that. I saw that clip on. I think you sent that to me today.
Yeah, I definitely sent you that.
You sent it to me on TikTok. I was like, I saw that this morning.
Yeah.
But I could see that being a thing. Like, the favor is Paul Heyman is representing him.
Yeah.
In that match, not Roman Reigns.
And he just does it despite Roman.
Yeah.
That could be good. We don't want to get too. Do you want? I mean, it wouldn't really technically count as predictions because we're not predicting who we think.
This isn't a prediction. This is just like speculation.
It's spitballing and highballing. All the jock of the jams. I just made that up now.
Like I said, I could see them doing either one of those, but the more likely one is that Paul Heyman represents CM Punk and not Roman Reigns, or both of them, whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Whatever Paul wants to do.
Yeah, I can't wait for Seth Rollins to come out dressed like a rhinestoned hair metal pimp.
There's also we have that. So obviously we talked about the Reigns Punk Rollins match, which is easily going to be the best non-title match of both cards. No question.
Oh my
god!
It's
unless they go.
It's not even
revive.
It's nothing
like
to do with
Macho
the wrestling. It's just. It has nothing to even do with the wrestling. It just has to do with the vibe, the story, and the vibe that all three of them are going to give off to each other.
Unless they fucking
they all hate.
Unless...
Except for maybe Roman and CM Punk, they kind of all hate each other. I know Rollins. Rollins hates both of them.
Roman's kind of.
I know Roman hates Rollins. Yeah. I mean, they both hate Rollins, and Rollins hates both of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if Punk hates Roman. I don't know.
That's gonna tie in, and I think that's gonna tie in the next week or so, because I think there's gonna be some kind of issue with Paul Heyman. I can already see him brewing.
Yeah,
because that started with the cage match, because fucking Roman turned around and Paul Heyman was in the ring with Punk, and he was like,
I'm so sorry, he got hurt.
So I could foresee. I could foresee something happening with Heyman, and that's why, Reigns will be invested in not hating just Seth but also Punk.
Well, also you got to take into consideration the seeds of Roman's hatred of Punk were planted on screen back in Survivor Series during the War Games match, where it was the time for someone to walk out. Roman was going to go, and Punk just cuts him off.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
Roman held him back, so
Yeah.
I think fucking one of the Usos could get out first.
Yeah, so exactly. See, there you go. So, like, you can definitely use this as a jumping point to bring
Yeah,
up
it's gonna
how
be more
much.
of like a power trip kind of thing.
Yeah, they could do a callback to the post-firing podcast where he's like, "Oh, you got to make Roman look strong." I guarantee you, he's going to call an audible during that match to call back to that.
Who knows? But I think that's gonna be a phenomenal match. I can't wait for that one. That's gonna be so good.
That's going to be insane.
AJ Styles.
So we're a little out of order here, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Like I said, this started this whole conversation. We got a little sidetracked. I unfortunately am.
I'm so uninterested in this match.
Yeah, as much as I hate to call a women's match, like basically one of the two women's matches on the card, to call it the piss break match, it's really going to be a piss break match.
It's a piss break T-shirt snack time match.
It looks like it's going to be so predictable. Like if Charlotte doesn't win, I would actually be genuinely surprised. That's just my
I would
thing.
love
If they let Tiffany beat Charlotte, I will be genuinely surprised.
I mean, it does good points for adding legitimacy to Tiff.
Oh, 100%. But
so it has that going for it.
The trick is, are they going to let Charlotte eat that pin? Is Charlotte going to let Charlotte eat that pin?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is she going to politic?
Exactly.
He doesn't even deserve the title match.
No, she doesn't, but she's going to get it anyway. Speaking of people who don't deserve titles, I saw something on TikTok the other day, and it really fucking aggravated my whole soul.
Oh, God.
One of Scott's favorite fucking people in the world. Sasha Banks, or Mercedes Moné, fucking holds like 4 titles in AEW. She has the TBS championship, the IGPW women's championship. And like 2 other belts that I just couldn't make out. I think she has one of the Ring of Honor belts.
Yeah. Scott, I can feel your blood pressure rising.
But like, it was more. It's like they gave this woman 4 titles for absolutely no reason. She said, like, her promo sounded like fucking dog shit. Like, she cut a promo and like it's basically saying how she was gonna win the AEW Women's Championship and sounded like ass the entire time. But the thing that made me laugh the most, the ring announcer, announces her, the CEO of Mercedes Moné, and then the crowd said, the crowd was no, they just didn't do anything. They were. Oh, that's the crowd was so. It sounded like a glorified indie show because that's what AEW is at this point. Is a glorified indie show.
Because when
the other one is the Rev. She's got. I'm sorry to cut you off, Scott. I just need to look up the belts. She has the TBS Championship, the New Japan Women's Championship, a Rev Pro Championship, which I didn't even know they were collaborating with AEW.
Yeah, me neither.
And a belt that just says Queen of the Ring, or just Queen.
Oh God. Yeah.
And Anna Jay has a Muppet of her. Oh, no, it's a troll. What the fuck are we doing? What?
I'm telling you,
Francis, how come you think she was getting so pissed at the end of her tenure in WWE? She wanted a title. She did not want to do anything unless it was either her having the title or her having to do something with the title match. Naomi was lucky enough. She was smart enough to smarten up and be like, well, it's not really about me, and if I work hard, I'll get a title, not just expect it. Yeah. And hello, this is what AEW has been all along. It's a wrestling company that caters, that basically does it caters to the wrestlers.
End of days
It gives them.
WCW.
It gives their. It's a bunch of people who are saying, "We'll give you this. We'll give you this. We'll give you this. We'll give you
Because
this."
Tony Khan
Except,
is just a
well, the only
he's just a fantasy booker with a shit ton
they're
of money.
worse.
That's all he is.
He's worse than Vince. I feel like Vince would do a better job running AEW than Tony Khan would.
Why?
Even at his days now.
But because Vince had a fucking business acumen. He knew what the fans wanted.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Vince was big on booking shit because it's what he wanted to see, but it worked. Most of the time. It didn't always work.
Yeah. Did you guys hear the shot Cena took at Tony Khan and AEW during the promo against him?
That was
Scott, did you know about that?
No, but hold on before we get to that.
He made Cody look stupid. It was great.
Okay, I'll just tell you right now. So, Cena and Cody are having their back and forth, and Scott, I know you're not hot.
Oh, with what happened Monday? I saw that.
Yeah, I just want to say it out loud because it was an absolute bar if such a thing ever existed. He says to Cody, "I make billionaires' empires while you just steal money from their kids." Mm-hmm. And I was just like, damn! I know you're not hot on, like, heel Cena right now, Scott, but you have to admit.
That doesn't even make sense because if anybody stole money from kids, it's fucking John Cena. Cody Rhodes at least doesn't come out with fucking a t-shirt every fucking month. A new t-shirt every month.
The whole he's saying basically he turned Vince from a millionaire to a billionaire, and then but Cody just takes money from a billionaire's kid because he takes money from Tony Khan.
Well,
that's the whole.
I mean, he obviously didn't help Vince become a billionaire because kind of became a billionaire before Cena became Super Cena big. Yeah.
No, he was the millionaire before Cena.
He didn't make $1 billion. He didn't break $1 billion until Cena was in the WWE and as the main guy.
Wow, if John Cena taking a shot at AEW was enough to get you to like this heel turn, then I don't know what will.
When Vince became a billionaire, that was when ECW was still and we had and it was Umaga,
no,
Scott, he didn't break $1 billion until the mid 2000s.
Mid to late 2000s, I want to say.
Yeah. I remember him having because I remember two things that happened in sequence.
He had the
I remember him announcing that he became a billionaire, but I also remember in the same close time span, Donald Trump came out and had started his segments with him when he announced that he became a billionaire. Because then I also remember money falling from the sky at the end of one of the Raw shows. Because Trump rigged his money and made it fall.
I think that was just kayfabe.
Yeah, I think that was just for the story.
I feel like that was the same time frame, and I think that's in the mid 2000s because it was Bobby Lashley and Umaga. That's when that was they were getting big. Like Umaga, I remember that. I mean,
anyway, to get back on, Anyway,
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
but what match were we at?
We were at Tiffany versus Charlotte.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's hard to talk about this because I don't know. I'm not really that big on Tiffany Stratton. I mean, I don't hate her. I'm just I don't see it yet.
So I just looked it up. So he did break $1 billion in October of 1999, but then very quickly in the early 2000s dipped back below $1 billion. He regained billionaire status in 2018 when Forbes recognized him with a net worth of $1.2 billion. And then he sold WWE to Endeavor for $9.3 billion with a B.
I can't do that.
Yeah. So yes, when he did the gimmick with Trump, he was legitimately a billionaire, but then very quickly went right back down and didn't regain billionaire status until 2018.
He did it for a bit.
But
All
anyway,
right. So what do we have after Shar and Tiff?
the other.
I know I'm the one that's. I know I'm the one. I'm kind of impressed with myself that I actually remember.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I thought it was work, honestly. But again, in
Me too. I
1999,
didn't think it was real, but I remember.
Scott, you also have to remember, in 1999, we were fucking 6.
Yeah,
I was too.
I was probably wrestling around that time.
I was gonna say we were still like hardcore into wrestling at that point, but like we didn't know the real life economics of everything.
I was too.
No.
The next match is the other main event, would be main event of Royal Rumble winner Gunther versus Jey Uso.
Oh.
I think we've all voiced ourselves on this one enough in these past
I
months.
I will say this. I will say something different because I did just only go off on Jay in this little aspect. We were definitely wrong to judge this. I know a lot of people on TikTok, a lot of wrestling podcasts, a lot of wrestling fans were saying this is going nowhere. This storyline's trash. Well, my God, after what happened on Monday, this storyline has just gotten a hell of a lot more interesting. With Gunther just blood all over himself, just standing over Jey Uso while he's zip tied to the turnbuckle, and Jimmy is just there. That was insane. I loved every second of watching that. That was just, it finally did something. Like, this is why I was waiting for it to pop, and it finally did.
Yeah. Ironically, the feud didn't get really crazy until Jimmy got involved. Because he slapped the fuck out of Gunther.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because Jimmy is the better Uso. That's why. Jimmy's the better Uso.
I think this is the first time I've ever heard you make that claim.
Yeah. I don't know.
Jimmy's better on the mic, definitely.
I feel like they're both like kind of equal on the mic. They cut the same promos, in my opinion.
Like, the whole thing with that is like, Jimmy probably should be where Jay is, because back when they left the Bloodline, Jimmy left the Bloodline first, convinced Jay to come with him. They have the brief tag feud.
And then Jimmy went back.
And then Jimmy went back. What?
Yeah, that made no sense.
Yeah. Reason number 10 why everyone hated their match at Mania last year.
Yeah.
They should have just both left
together.
Jimmy finally gets the chance to leave, and that gives Jay the opening. Well, if Jimmy's able to leave, let me go with him. But it was just, hey, let's stick with Roman. I'm like, what? He just tortured you for years of forcing you to do stuff for him, and the chance you have to leave, like, Jimmy's the one that stays. Like, that makes no sense. You
first.
Jay was
so.
Jay could have been more convinced, because Jay could have been like, well, he was there longer. Roman's gotten into Jay's head, so he couldn't really leave because he was already too late by the time Jimmy got. But
it's weird.
The whole Bloodline breakup was very strange, because now they're like, it's like they're good with Roman, but they're not back really with Roman. I don't fucking know.
They need to go back as tag team.
I think so. Honestly, one of the most iconic, arguably one of the best tag teams of all time
were the Usos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you have the New Day, who's won more titles than anybody, because they had fucking 14 tag team championship wins.
Yeah.
Is the Solo and his bloodline doing anything yet, or no? Or are they just taking the night off?
They're on the brinks of breakup too, because fucking Jacob Fatu wants to go after Braun Strowman, and like Solo's like,
which might be a Wrestlemania match.
That might be a Wrestlemania match, which I think would be really cool.
Make that the hardcore match or the spot fest.
Honestly, though, I don't think it needs to be a Mania match. That could just be a Raw after Mania match, or. But I would like to see maybe one, because there's 7 matches announced so far, and if we're following Triple H's 5-match rule for pay-per-views, it only leaves room for 3 more matches, and I would like to see maybe some of the mid-card belts in there. You know, maybe like the
I was about
IC
to-
title or the US title. Or,
Well,
They definitely
the
got to get
IC
Braun
title,
something.
the IC title, if I get this right, is kind of looking like a fatal 4-way. We might have a lot of multi-man
I'm fine with
matches,
that. I'm fine with that. It's Mania. It's got to go
which
big.
I saw someone have an issue with it because they're also like, well, they're just trying to force people in. But it's also like, we usually never get triple threat or fatal 4-way matches.
Yeah.
We don't get that much anymore.
Yeah. And fatal
Not
4-way
as much
matches
of-
are fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
anymore. Oh.
And this is what I'm thinking about the US and the Intercontinental. For the Intercontinental, I think it's going to be a fatal 4-way with Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, Dom Mysterio, and what's his name? He just had a title match with him.
What did he look like?
New. He's just brand new. He just came into the business.
Fuck.
Oh, Penta.
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 Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Penta. And for the US, who has the title right now?
The US title?
No, Shinsuke dropped it to LA Knight.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's going. Who the hell's talking to
I
LA
don't
Knight?
think anyone's
I
really
know he's
feuding with him right
doing.
now.
You hate to
No,
say it,
I
but
could
I think
sworn he was somewhat getting into a feud with some like a conference. Like I think this might just be a quick. Oh, here's your challenger. But I feel like we were getting something. I don't know.
I'll look up. Hold on.
I don't know. Right now, I don't see a WrestleMania worthy match for the U.S. title. But the IC title, I would like to see that Fatal 4-way. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, like maybe you get like one of the women's titles. You know, get the women's U.S. championship on there somewhere.
Wait a minute, fellas. Tag team ladder match.
Oh yeah, they could do a tag team ladder match.
Yeah.
That's also an
Those
option.
are always fun. I feel like ladder matches should be featured in Manias more. Especially seeing as how like we're not going to have Money in the Bank ladder matches at Mania ever again.
Yeah, because it has its own pay-per-view.
No.
Yeah. But like last year's ladder match was fucking awesome. So I'd love to see them do
Like
that
I said,
again.
we still have what, like 2.5 more weeks before we get to Mania.
Yeah.
And that leaves, like I said, if we're following Triple H's 5-match rule, we're only at 7 matches, so there's still room for 3 more matches. Yeah. So who knows what we'll get in the next couple weeks. The next match I have here is the Women's World Championship, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair.
Versus Rhea. Oh, who said that? What? Oh, where
That's
did that
the other
come
thing
from?
is how is Rhea going to get involved in this match and how is she getting her way in?
Yeah.
She did, I think, just get cheated out.
Bit.
I think her title match rematch with Io, I think, got into a disqualification because of Bianca. So I'm pretty sure she's just gonna. It's gonna be a classic Rhea thing. I think she did it last. I think somebody said she did it last year. She's just gonna force herself into the title match.
Yeah. Because I know, what was it, 2 weeks ago? She stole the contract and signed her name on it. But I think Adam Pearce threw it away or something. It was a whole thing.
No Shawn Michaels circa 2004 for you, young lady.
If it was Nick Aldis would have shut it down. But Adam Pearce is going to cave. He's going to be like, let's just make it a triple threat match.
So you're saying Nick Aldis is a better general manager than Adam Pearce?
Yes, I've always thought that.
All right, we agree on something. That's good.
That match is going to go the way it goes. I think either way, I think it would stand to be better as a triple threat, but I wouldn't be upset if it stayed the way it is as Io Sky versus
because
Bianca.
The only reason is you need a heel.
Yes,
Bianca can't be a heel.
That's the other thing is like really right now
Io Sky being a heel,
but at the same time,
even
Rhea's a big
even with Damage Control. Even when Damage Control was an evil faction, like a heel faction. Io Sky wasn't really that much of a heel. She was just always standing around in the back.
She can do a heel. She just didn't get a chance to do it in Damage Control.
I was going to say, Io in Damage Control really didn't do anything different than Io now as a babyface. Because she's just like... she's just doing her thing, kind of thing. Like the only difference was like she would help Bailey win, or like they would, they would do.
It would
like,
make sense
heel
to have Rhea. It would make sense to have Rhea in there and to have her the heel. Just have that heel factor in there because Io's not going to be a good enough heel to have that match go back and forth with Bianca. We need Rhea's a much better heel, so you're going to need someone of
But
a
Rhea's
better
not
match.
even a heel right now. She's a babyface.
Yeah.
She's kind of acting like a heel right now.
She's kind of a tweener, I guess. That's a good.
She could, even if they made her a full out heel, I feel like people like and simp for her too much to like
That's what I'm
they'll
saying.
cheer her no matter what.
She gets over too easy. That's the whole reason that they had her like leave the Judgment Day, because like people were cheering for her, but no, not Dom and everybody else. And the same thing with Damien. Yeah. They both got over with the crowd, and no matter what they did, even though they were heels, they got over. We already talked about Reigns, Punk, Rollins. The last match that's been announced so far is obviously Cody Rhodes and John Cena.
Yeah. We already we've already talked about this one at nauseum. I'm really digging heel Cena out of everyone here, weirdly enough. I still seriously hope that this leads to the formation of a new faction with himself, The Rock, and like you said, Scott, earlier, maybe get Seth Rollins in there somewhere, give him a return to form and have him become a heel again. I still think the build up to this is pretty solid, and like we said earlier, like you did, Dom, Cena absolutely mollywopped Cody on the mic the other night. Like you also predicted he would, because when they first started cutting promos on each other, we said, like, oh man, Cody didn't let Cena say a single thing because he knew that Cena would cook him.
Yeah.
Cody's promos Monday went just as hard. I don't know why people make it.
No, it did.
I feel like it doesn't get as much pop as it should. No, because I can see a lot of people online just like, it doesn't get as much, like, they're too glazed over Cena's heel turn that, like, Cody Rhodes kind of like.
No, Cody
shut his, like, he kind of was talking. He was going insane on him. Like,
I'm not saying that Cody didn't cut a good promo, but it's just like Cena hit certain points that like
yeah. We weren't expecting him to go there.
It's especially hard because people are underplaying the Vince jab at him. Because I've said it the last podcast. This is my take. This is my take on John Cena, and if I'm gonna, I'll express it now. So if Santi that ever or the Wrestling School podcast ever responds, I can, I can still go on with it. But
you can archive it.
I wanted to see something different. The only thing that was smart about John Cena turning heel was that the fact that he covered all the aspects of what a fan would argue about something bad about his heel turn. So that's why we can't see his heel turn as something bad, because he's already shut down. He already shut down the hot topics that a normal wrestling fan would normally, be like. We would give a normal wrestling, be like, wow, they kind of have a point. The fans have a point, but he kind of blocked that off. But I'm not that person that's going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to ignore that. No, I wanted to see something different. We needed to see something different. I wanted to see something different as just from a perspective as I love acting and I love the performance of it. And I want to see you do something different other than the same thing. You didn't change anything. All you did was get grumpy, and you took CM Punk's playbook back in 2013. That's the only thing you're doing. You're not acting any different. I wanted to see something different. I want to see your performance change. But it's just the same exact thing, except you just have a little stick up your ass.
I would say my only argument to that is, like, I think that's kind of the point he made with his first promo. Yeah. He goes, everybody...
that was the thing. It's like...
Everybody
it's
wanted that.
It's hard to argue with.
Yeah. Everybody wanted that, but I'm not giving it to you.
He's not doing
it's hard to argue with because... It's hard to argue with because he's already shut everything off.
Yeah.
So the only thing I could do is attack his. I can't attack him as a wrestler. No. I have to now go at him as as like an actor and as a performer.
But that's
and to be like, you need to do better. Yeah. I understand this is. I understand this is like I'm going outside. Like I understand this is a shtick, but like you need to do something. I need this.
Well, you
Like
also have to remember this
you
is
on the
the
mic.
fucking script that's been written for him. It's,
Yeah,
don't
you're
blame him,
always
blame the writers.
you're always gonna hit hard. Cena's always gonna hit hard in his promos. That's not gonna stop.
Yeah.
But I need to see something. I need to see something out of the ordinary from Cena. Because
Well,
whenever we saw something out of the
listen,
ordinary,
there's
it was
still-
always like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen that yet.
You
All
gotta
it
think
is
about it
is
this
just
way.
jab after jab.
There's still a lot of retirement tour left.
Yeah, like he's not going away. Win or lose, he's not going away after Mania, so there's still
Yeah.
plenty of time.
So who knows?
I
We
need
might
him
get a big
I
change
need him on the
after
mic
Mania.
with Funk.
That's what I've been saying.
I honestly think that's probably going to be a SummerSlam match.
Yeah.
It's the only I would say CM Punk. There's a handful of people that can go toe to toe to Cena,
Yeah.
but CM Punk's the only one that could surpass Cena in a promo fight.
Punk has been feuding with Cena, would have been feuding with Cena the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It would make sense for him to beat Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Punk and The Miz, I think, are the only two that can pass Cena on the promo.
Punk and who?
Because I've seen The Miz.
Miz.
I've seen The Miz do it before.
Yeah.
Especially
Miz-
when he was in the ring with Cena and Roman. That
Yeah.
segment with Cena and Roman, where he was
I
the
remember that.
Intercontinental Champion with the B team. That's that's probably one of the hardest promos. Was that promo because he completely shut everything down.
Miz
They
is the
were
master
both-
of the work shoots.
Roman and Cena at the time were the two biggest people. It was like crazy the fact that they were the two main eventers, and the fact that the Miz went out there and just completely silenced both of them.
Well,
They
he was
were
pissed.
dumbfounded.
He was pissed
Yeah.
because he was on the pre-show.
Yeah, that's right. But other
God, I
than
need
that,
to see him
that's
do that again.
all the matches I have so far,
Yeah.
according to WWE's website. Like, obviously, we still have like a lot of speculation on matches.
And there'll be
like,
more
what we
announcements as the
could
weeks
get.
roll by.
Exactly. And obviously, keep in tune to our social medias, like our Instagram and our TikTok. As matches get announced and maybe some other news, we will post
Both
it
of
there
which
for
you can follow at the Push Wrestling.
Say it, Francis. Just fucking get it over with.
I'm not saying it to myself.
Thank God I don't have to hear it.
I just
Yeah.
hold on. I got something from Ringside News.
Okay.
Go for it.
Miro confirmed for WrestleMania weekend event ahead of WWE return.
Yeah, because
the meet and greets.
they do the meet and greets like the WrestleCon kind of stuff.
Yeah, so he'll probably show
I'm
up. at the
amazing that
meeting.
he's one of them. Like that's really quick.
He's signed. You might as well go show up. And
He
make some
signed.
money.
Yeah.
He's not competing. He's probably just going to say
He's
hi
probably
to a bunch
just
of people.
at Mania. Yeah, like he'll probably, he's doing the meet and greets and the convention stuff, and then he'll go fucking sit in the back.
Yeah.
Or he'll do like what a lot of the other wrestlers do that aren't on the card. They'll go sit in like a luxury suite.
Skybox.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I
So
don't know.
that's
If I were a worker, I think I would rather sit backstage.
yeah. I'd sit backstage too.
Because if I can't be ringside, I might as well just be backstage. Because the way I look, especially like now that the Mania, SummerSlam, things like all these big four pay-per-views are going to wind up being in like these massive outdoor stadiums instead of the indoor arenas.
Yeah.
The press boxes are so far away, you can't even fucking see the ring anyway. You might as well just sit. If I'm going to watch it on a screen, I'll sit in the back.
Yeah. I'll sit in production with Hunter. Fuck it.
That's what I'm saying. I'll fucking sit in Gorilla all night.
I feel like that's as close as you can get without actually being in the ring or having a match.
Or
Yeah.
a production truck. But
Yeah.
do we have anything else?
Scott, you wanted to bring up one more thing before we sign off. I think it involves one Thomas Dreamer.
I had two of them.
Go for them, both of them, right now. Let's do this.
I know we didn't. I don't know if Francis posted this on Instagram, but we definitely talked about it on our Discord. Apparently, Tommy Dreamer felt. You guys probably explain it better, but apparently, Tommy Dreamer felt queasy.
Yeah.
To the Omaha Street fight with Dean Ambrose and
John Moxley.
I'm gonna say I know John Moxley. I don't know why I said Dean Ambrose. John Moxley and Edge.
Cope.
And I don't care. Dean and Edge, I don't give a fuck what their names are. My God.
No, yeah, I get it.
But yeah,
I've said this in
I
the
know
past.
exactly the scene he was. No, I
Yeah,
exactly know the part of the
The
match he
spot,
was
yeah.
referring to.
Which, like,
I've
Jesus Christ, how
yeah.
fucked do you have to be to make Tommy Dreamer queasy?
That's what I'm saying. But if I've said this in the past, and I'll say it again, I am not a fan of deathmatch wrestling. I know a
Yeah.
lot of people are. A lot of people like it. I'm not saying you're wrong for liking it. Everyone has their own thing.
I like it occasionally.
It was never my. As someone who enjoys the psychology of wrestling, I don't enjoy deathmatch wrestling unless it makes sense for the
the
feud.
story.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and even then, I think like the way I look at it, I look at AEW and I look at some of the, and they always involve fucking John Moxley because he's the one that's
The
crazy enough to
deathmatch
do
guy.
this shit. I feel like they take it too far.
Yeah.
That's just me. Like I said, I'm perfectly happy. Like if you want to fucking throw thumbtacks in the ring and bump on that, be my fucking guest. I won't fucking do it. I can tell you now. I sure shit wouldn't fucking do it. I never liked the idea of the light bulbs, the
light tubes,
yeah.
anything on fire, barbed wire.
I mean the fire ones, or like whatever, like the flaming tables. That's whatever because they usually go out once it breaks. Usually,
if you're lucky, and if
you're
they
lucky.
gimmick it the right way.
Yeah, but like the fucking barbed wire trampoline, or
They did a barbed wire trampoline spot.
it was back in the early days of
No, I
AEW.
remember. Yeah,
It was
the
it was
Kenny match. Yeah,
yeah, it was Mox and Kenny in a fucking unsanctioned match.
yeah.
You know, it's certain things like that. I'm like, I don't think it's necessary. You know, like I said, like if you enjoy that, to each their own. You can fucking enjoy that all you want.
I
But
totally get what you're saying. I feel like if they do it like the same way WWE used to use and are currently using Hell in a Cell again, like we're only doing this to definitively end a feud.
yeah,
Then
that's
yeah,
whatever. But even then, it's like I feel like a lot of the stuff Mox does goes so far. Like the
yeah,
bat, the spiked bat that he fucking took his
yeah.
suplex onto.
Yeah.
I'm like that
Was
was
that
a
on
little
a
much. That was much.
was that on a pay per view or was that on a random
No,
episode
that
of
had to be a
Dynamite or
pay per
something?
view.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
I
know
can
if they're allowed to show that much blood on regular
TNT
television.
Yeah,
Yeah. Although it is TNT, so who knows?
yeah.
AEW is, I mean, the downfall is just. I haven't looked at the ratings, the TV ratings in a while, or the viewerships in a while, but
I don't
I'm
have
guessing
cable,
they're.
so I can't
I'm
watch them.
apparently they're still
I mean,
I'm
listen,
guessing they're still dropping.
if their
Yeah.
ticket sales or
They're
anything
not.
to show, it's not good. Because like I
It's
said,
it's
they
they need. They're trying too hard,
yeah
and this over like you getting Moxley, you getting hurt. That's there's a reason why it's done with.
yeah
It's not. I mean, it's entertaining to see, but after a
Yeah.
while, you
yeah,
kind of
and
need
then
to start learning how to wrestle again because that's
Mm,
just it's an escape to not do wrestling. You just are willing
you're
to put your
taking
body
crazy
through the
bumps.
pain,
Yeah,
stand
yeah.
on lay on the mat for a little bit, and then it gets to a while. Well, every match you have is
Mm,
crazy move, Moxley, and the other person's down for 2 minutes. Another
yeah.
crazy move, and then it goes extremely slow, and
selling
it's
it for
like,
so
oh come
long.
on,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
But that's my only issue with it. It's like that, and like I said, you look at the clip from Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, whatever the fuck you want to call her. I've heard indie shows have louder pops than that. Like literally nobody gave a fuck that she was like, "Oh, I'm competing for the AEW Women's Championship." Like no one cares. Shut up. And it's
I
like the
hear
fact
TNA
that
doing great.
yeah, TNA's doing fucking phenomenal compared to AEW.
Yeah.
At this point, AEW needs to be the one that's not on TV, and TNA should go on to fucking take their spots.
TNT.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
But,
Well, like, there's only
oh, Scott, you're sideways.
Scott, you're
Scott,
Scott, can you hear us?
hold on there.
Okay,
There you
okay,
go.
yeah. basically, like, it's the same as we've always been saying. We don't. Well, me and Dom and Cap, if you were here, we're not shitting on AEW for the sake of shitting on. We do legitimately want what's better for them. We wouldn't say stuff like this if we didn't care. There's the downfall.
I don't care.
Well, that's
I
why
want it to burn.
I was gonna say you're just enjoying the.
It was a miserable idea to begin with. It
They're
was
not
invented
going
by
anywhere.
people with miserable intent.
Yeah,
They just wanted a voice. They were upset that all of them were either not entertaining anymore or they didn't want to give them titles anymore. So they go over to AEW saying, "Oh well, now that AEW has like 25 titles, I'm gonna go there and have a title shot." And now most of the WWE roster is sitting on their asses like they were doing in WWE. So congratulations, you fucking played yourself. Really, really fucking hard, and we're still seeing you guys. We're still seeing you guys crawl back to WWE to this day. It's been like over a year now, and bit by bit, the wrestlers are slowly going back because they realize and they fucked up.
WWE changed and everything.
Here's the thing, though. Like, not all of them left. A lot of them just got fired.
Yeah.
They got let go. They were released.
Rusev got let go.
Rusev got released. Aleister Black
But
got released.
Other promos. There's other promos.
Absolutely.
90% of them went to AEW. It's like, really? Come on.
Because they all went to AEW. Because, here's the thing.
You need newer talent.
AEW was paying better. Where are you going to go? If you were in their shoes, right? Like, if you were in fucking Aleister Black's shoes, where are you going to go? Are you going to go to the place with the TV deal and the multi-million-dollar contract? Or are you going to go to fucking TNA, who was doing absolutely nothing at the time?
Yeah, as bad as TNA is, as bad as AEW is now, TNA during AEW's inception was fucking
miserable.
Oh my god, dude!
It was a death sentence to go to fucking TNA at that point.
They were being bought and sold by different owners every other Wednesday, Scott.
That's the only thing.
Every other day,
I don't blame them. I don't blame the ones that got released for going to AEW. Because at that point, it's like, listen, I gotta fucking feed my family. I gotta make money. So
and that's back when it was good.
Yeah, and it was still good at the time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I can't imagine anyone leaving WWE for AEW. If they do, that you're fucking miserable. Like
they still have options. They still have options.
We're gonna wind up seeing Tony Khan manage a McDonald's.
Yeah.
In 20 years,
because the fact that Ricochet
bleeding him dry.
Yeah, the fact that Ricochet left and willingly went to AEW, I'm like, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah. I still don't think they're gonna go.
And now your girl's back in WWE after I don't know what happened to her music career. I saw a video of someone saying she's back.
Samantha Irvin?
So I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
No.
Yeah.
She just put out like a whole album.
Good for her. The thing, like, I don't think they're gonna go like belly up like Scott's praying on, because like if ICP can keep their wrestling promotion afloat, I think AEW is gonna be fine.
No, but eventually they're gonna lose their TV. If they keep this shit up, they're gonna lose their TV deal.
Yeah, and they're just gonna have to go to Pop TV like TNA did.
Yeah, but
might still be. I don't know what TNA's channel is now.
If Tony Khan ever decides to sell the company, which would probably benefit him, kinda, whoever buys it could probably turn the fucking thing around big time. But again, when the biggest brains in the wrestling business that you had on your contract left and went back to WWE, not a good look. Because you have to admit, everything went downhill when Cody left. That's when AEW really started declining.
It was the 1-2 punch of Cody and Punk.
Mm-hmm. Well, Punk was there for a while after Cody left.
Oh, I said like a year.
Cody left.
I'm saying the downfall. You can see the downfall of the booking after Cody left, because it was just the Bucks that were booking at that point.
It was both of them, because Punk was there for a while after.
Yeah, but Punk wasn't
left.
Doing the booking.
Cody left,
Punk was just there as a draw.
booking. Cody left, and the booking suffered.
Yeah.
Punk left, and the viewership has suffered.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because at this point, Because at this point, they were when Cody left, they were still at like 800, 700 views, 700,000 views, which is a good. They were almost nearing a 900 a mil, and I mean, probably was I think a majority of it, not majority, but we definitely seeing like a fourth of it was because I want to see CM Punk. It's been 10, 13 years. I want to see him wrestle.
Between Punk getting fired and then Sting retiring.
Yeah, that was the other one.
It's like who do you have there that's really a draw other than MJF?
There's
and
Kenny,
even then,
but he's
what
doing
has
more
MJF
New Japan
done recently.
You had Kenny. Now Kenny's like barely gonna show up now.
Kenny's wrestling in New Japan more. He'd rather be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moxley is just throwing his body around, and it's not doing anything.
Yeah. Mox is just
Jericho can't do it anymore.
Jericho isn't.
Well, Jericho can still wrestle. He just can't hold up to business.
No,
he's also
I feel like he's slowly going crazy.
He's changing his gimmick every other week.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's had more gimmicks in like the short time in AEW than he has in his entire WWE career.
Yeah.
Because it was like it was the fucking, he came back, when not came back, like he started like El Champion,
the Inner Circle,
the Jericho Appreciation Society,
Jericho.
Exactly, it's like every
the
fucking
Painmaker.
Yeah, every other month is like a new gimmick with him. So it's like I think he's just having fun with it before he retires at this point. Like I think he doesn't give a fuck. He's getting paid. He doesn't care.
And he doesn't even need the money.
And he gets to do his cruise every year. He does his the
Rock and Wrestling
the Rock and Wrestling cruise. Yeah. Which I mean, honestly, I would fucking go to that. Like that sounds awesome.
100%.
Fucking wrestling matches and then a fucking Fozzy concert on the last day. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, what you call it?
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be an episode of The Push without shitting on AEW at some point, right?
Yeah.
But that being said, speaking of indie shows, I am going to segue us towards our finish here. This Saturday, April 5th, Warriors of Wrestling is doing a show at Fun Station USA in Staten Island, New York. I unfortunately will not be there. I have some family obligations that I will be attending to. But the rest of the Push, the boys up here, these two lovely gentlemen, as well as El Capitan, who cannot be with us because he's at work, will be at the show on Saturday. Hopefully,
doors open at 6 and the first bell is at 7.
Everyone go if you can. If you're in the area, go check it out. Go see the boys. Go meet the boys. This and that. They will be there talking up the stream and the channel. Hopefully, maybe getting some interviews with some talent. Roger Mendez. But
it's going to be a whole thing, everybody.
Yeah. So
keep an eye on all our socials because we'll be posting stuff straight from the event.
Absolutely. That being said, I think it is about time we wrap it up for this week. For those of you who have been here before, you know the deal. For those of you who are new, check us out on all our social medias at The Push Wrestling on Instagram and TikTok.
Nice plug.
Thank you. Make sure you follow us here on Twitch. Show your support. Throw a like, a comment. Any kind of social interaction on our social medias is great for us. Share it with your friends. We'd love to chat with
you guys.
And we're always active on our social medias. We respond relatively quickly. That being said, take it away, Francis.
So for all of us here at The Push, including our boy Cap, who again, love you, brother. Can't wait to work with you on Saturday. My name is Francis, who is wearing the cap in indifference to Cap.
I'm Dom, not Mysterio.
Got bitch.
Keep pushing, everybody. Ring that bell for me, Dom.
The fuck is the button? There it is.
Well, that was awkward.
Yeah.